And what's the difference between ego and confidence?
Oof. I like that question.
So I think for me, what number one, I'm not the source.
Yeah.
Number two, I believe everything I do to bring honor and glory to God. So it's very faith-centered. So I know for a fact when I'm trying a big business, as you guys know, or I'm making these huge plans, I know I have someone backing me. So whereas I know I have the skills, very true, because there are a lot of guys who have the skill. Some people even more skilled than I am, but they're not where I am. And it's because...
Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Just to Kick It is a Blessing podcast. Welcome to the podcast where it's all about time, where we teach, inspire, motivate, and entertain through the art of storytelling. Today, we're doing part 2 of a conversation we had a couple months ago. So in case you haven't watched part 1, we'll share it over here on the screen. But yeah, even before we get into the episode, so I guess, guys, you know, they're not new to the channel, but I'll let them say a little bit of something.
Hi, everyone. This is Matu again. Thank you guys for joining us again. Thank you, Keith, for having us back. Was really excited to be here. And to carry on with this conversation. I think we had such a great time last time. And I'm really excited to have this chat again. Or at least carry on the chat, rather.
Absolutely, yeah. It's part 2. My name is Sean. Happy to be here again with my guys. It feels like just another Saturday hanging out with the guys. So, Tupac, thanks for creating this space for us, and I'm excited about our chat today.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, thanks guys again. My name is David Mahinda. Glad to be here again as well. Like you're saying, natural chats will be hanging out regularly. So this feels like a continuation of that.
No,
Glad to be here.
it's actually the conversations we actually have.
Yeah.
You know,
That is true.
Yeah. It's just now we've broadcasted it for people to see. That's true. And to understand that actually, you know, men have these kind of conversations, you know. But yeah, as we continue the conversation from last time, maybe my first question today would be, how has your faith evolved over the years?
I can go first. My faith has evolved in various ways. First, there was a time when my faith was tested.
Okay.
Then, you know, faith is like a muscle.
Yeah.
So if you treat it or think about it that way, the more you exercise the muscle, the more and more, the stronger it gets.
Yeah.
So faith is exactly like that. So my faith has evolved over the years because the things that I would believe for that maybe, you know, there's a time you believe, oh, can I just get enough money for rent? Can I just get enough money? Nowadays, because my faith has reached a certain level, I already know God is going to provide that.
Yeah.
So you see, because remember, faith is the evidence of things not of things that are not yet seen, but they're there. So you see, your faith is about learning that the stuff that you want is already available to you.
Yeah.
You just have to be grateful for it. But the process of being grateful for that requires you to have an intimate relationship with God. So that's how my faith has evolved over the years. Is that now I'm able to use my faith use something like gratitude as a form of faith. To manifest the things that are already there and waiting for me, that the good things God has in store for me. So yeah.
I think just before the other two answer, I think we recently did that podcast on Pastor Angie.
Yeah.
And I remember you said faith is like what Christians call, what the world calls risk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. Faith is risk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's another very important point. My faith has evolved because I take more risks because I have more faith in God that He will always that I'm always doing things to, as long as I'm doing things in line with His will to bring Him honor and glory. That He will always what's the word? He'll always back the check that I write.
Yeah.
I think I can jump in.
Yeah.
So when I saw the question, I smiled because I feel like I'm at a point in my relationship with God that is unlike any other season I've been in before.
Yeah.
So I've actually been a Christian since I was 4 years old.
Yeah.
You know that it feels a bit, it can get robotic at times where it's something you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
You know, it can feel like a list of to-dos. And if you're doing them, you feel like you're in a good standing with God. You're happy. But if you're not, then you feel bad. There's some of that guilt.
Yeah.
But more recently, I've been wondering what people used to talk about when they talk about like intimacy with God.
Okay.
Because, you know, when it's feeling like a list of things to do, you'll do them and you'll feel good, but you're not really feeling that intimacy with Him. But more recently, actually, as recently as Sunday, so I'd gone for some festival of the weekend. Then I went and had a time of prayer and fasting. balance.
This life is about balance, man.
It's all about balance.
And during that time, actually, went and I fasted, and since then, I think I've been experiencing God in a new way, where it's not you're reading the Bible because you want to check off something, but you feel called to. You wake up at 3 a.m. and as opposed to going on your phone and just scrolling, you'll feel called to prayer. So I've really been enjoying that, and I'm encouraged for like this next season, what you might have in store. Yeah.
No, I agree. Similar to a lot of you guys, my journey of faith grew up in a Christian household. So, in your early years, God is a God who you know. But I think as I got older and had to start to rely on myself a lot more, I was out of the house, etc. That God turned into the God I love, and that was more of like a relational thing, because you come from like head knowledge of God, of like the theory and this Bible verse, this that, this song, that song.
Then the practicality.
Then it starts to morph into more of a relationship, right? You're walking this journey, and as you do that, just like any other relationship with someone else, you get to know this person a bit better. So I think that's how my journey with my faith has come along.
I think for me, when I look at it, probably one of the things is, personally, me, I used to like to go to church because of lunch after. It was a tick for restaurants.
Yeah.
But I think the older I've become is exactly, I think, what you guys have said. It's knowing that it's an individual relationship that you have with someone.
Yeah.
And I don't even go to the same church my dad goes to, because I feel like for me, that personally doesn't work, So it's just like any other relationship, how you'll have your preferences. Even in that one, a lot of people will have their own preferences. And that's what I'm now learning, or at the stage of my life, is what I'm trying to actually understand a little bit better.
And everyone's relationship with God is so different. It is, right? That's one thing I'm coming to appreciate. Where sometimes you hear stories from people and they're like, oh, when I do this and this and this and this, I feel so much closer to God. And you're like, wait, you do what? So depending on who you are and how you've cultivated that understanding of getting into God's presence, or just like your study or fellowship, they all look vastly different. And that's okay.
Yeah.
And that interplay of personality and your relationship with God. Because like who you are, I felt like a good Christian because maybe I don't do too many things. You're thinking they're those guys who would go and be crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm being good not because I'm a good Christian, but that's my personality.
Yeah. It comes
so you can
naturally
mistake.
to you.
You can mistake your personality for I'm a really good Christian guy, but really
No, it's just who you are.
Yes.
And then God, one thing I love about God, He meets you at where you are.
Yes.
He knows your weaknesses and your flaws and where you're messing up.
Yeah.
So He's the kind of God, I believe, that He understands what works with you.
Yeah.
There's the language that you will understand, that there's the way he'll talk to David that he won't speak to Matu.
That's that intimacy.
That's and people have to know that the relationship with God is two-way. It's not just you seeking Him, but it's also Him giving you part of Him. And the thing about God, He's the kind of person I've learned who lets you find, the more of Him you search, the more of Him you get.
Yeah.
He's not obscure. You learn more about Him the more you pursue and look for Him. And you learn more about yourself in that process.
Can I throw a spanner in the works?
Sure.
There's a really awesome book my dad gave me. We should have actually mentioned that in the podcast when I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
Like a really pivotal time in my life where my dad came through for me.
Yeah.
He gave me this book. It's called Wild at Heart.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Really, really incredible book, and it's written by this author who just has such a big heart for men's ministry. And the whole point of that book was just understanding how God made men and how we were just very intentionally designed to be men. A man is a man, a woman is a woman. And how God approaches man and how we as men can have better and more solid relationships with God, and what it means to be made in God's image as a man, And so a really interesting point I learned there was there are many men who are fleeing from churches today because churches maybe were not set up to relate to a man, right? So the way that, we are boisterous, adventurous, we like danger, combat, violence, those aren't things that naturally in like a church setting are encouraged, right?
You're
It's
supposed to
like
sit still.
peace and, kumbaya. But it's like, we're guys, we want to do. So sometimes church can feel like it's not manly enough for men.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
It can feel a bit feminine.
It can feel a bit feminine,
yeah.
right? And,
That's
and even
true.
in my church,
A
you go
lot.
there and I'm like, it's 60% women,
Oh, that's actually another thing.
That's true. But it's like you said, it's designed.
It's designed.
It's not designed for men so much.
Yeah.
Because a man's church has to be more activity based. The way I see it. That's why, for example, the apostles, when they went out, they'd have meetings in a field.
Yes.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even if you look at Jesus,
going back to directly,
he never went to the same place every Sunday.
Yeah.
It's this week you are at the Sea of Galilee in someone's boat, we borrowed.
Yeah.
Next week we're in a valley in the middle of the wilderness. As in, it changes, and that's where the conversations
happen.
And
also based around activity. So even as guys, you'll go and you'll do something, and then you'll have deep chats after. It's not that you'll go to a place to have the deep chats. You will go to have coffee and chat. You go do something, and then the chats will come as a result.
Absolutely.
That's true.
Yeah.
I actually like your point because I was actually seeing there's a place now they're doing schools for boys and they're trying to shift the curriculum a bit more.
Interesting.
Because
So what does that look like?
I think they were saying they want to reduce, they want to have more breaks or more activity based within, because they were like, they are based on their study, they're saying boys struggle
Attention
to
span.
concentrate in such an environment.
Yeah.
You
Being
know?
confined.
Yeah. Because I was even laughing at something the other day and I was like, hey, these days I don't know if I can sit in a conference for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
You know?
It's to be honest, it's so difficult. Even like for me, I have a hard time sitting still in the office.
Yeah. Even me, sometimes I just have to pick up the phone. You'll see me, I'll even walk. I'll walk down the stairs. If I sit on my seat the whole day, I think I'll lose my
You
mind.
lose it.
Yeah. So
True.
guys, do you think God has ever let you down? And what did that season of your life really teach you?
God let me down.
I can say I don't honestly believe God let me down. I believe I didn't understand what I needed at that time.
Yeah.
There was a time I wanted God to do so many things for me,
Yeah.
but I just wasn't ready.
Yeah.
You know? And the things that I wanted then, He's doing now. It's because then there was no mental and emotional structure for me to do.
Those things.
And the thing is, it's about, you see, there's someone, a consultant of ours, her name is May. She always tells me, God, she's a strategic consultant, you know her. Yeah. And she says, God only blesses structure. That's why people wonder, why can't God just wake in the morning and give me 1 billion shillings in cash? But he's like, he knows what it's going to do to you. He says, you're not even capable.
You'll cheesy.
You'll go crazy because you don't even have the structure
Yes. To
handle that kind of wealth. Do you have a family office? Do you have what we're discussing? Do you have the structures to make sure that this money is invested in the right things for your grandkids? You know, when you get to a certain level, you have to become selfless when God blesses you.
Yeah.
And you think less about yourself and more about future generations. But when I was asking for certain things at that time, when I was asking for wealth and riches and all that stuff, I was asking for myself. You see?
Yes.
And God said no, and He withheld it. Because I remember there was a time where it was a tough year, 2018, tough year, because I'd been making money getting by. I started tithing and all that stuff and built a relationship with that. And I wanted to make good money. So I got 2 pieces of property someone was selling. One was being sold by my mom's family, my grandfather's estate. Another one was being sold by someone that I knew who was a man who was mentoring me. So the man who was mentoring me, he gave me permission, and we had agreed, if I sell this property, I'll get, because I asked him for 5M on top. If I get it at this price, can you give me the over and above? He said, yes, sure. So I went, and it was 5 big ones, and I was so excited. So I was going around hustling, talking to different buyers, and finally I locked a buyer. Buyer agreed to my price. Everything was smooth. Then this man had several plots next to each other. So the buyer says, I'll buy one in cash, then we'll jointly develop the rest together. That entire deal fell through. And I remember feeling so so disappointed.
Yeah.
But then now I still have the zeal because there's another deal that that's just come to my plate. Okay, fine. So I go, I hustle. I get a buyer. The buyer comes through. It's a church that's looking to buy land to expand their church ministry. So I was like, this is definitely a big one. Yeah, 100%.
Must be from God.
Must be one. It's like 2 times more I was going to get from the other deal. So I was like,
answered
yes. And the deal falls through. And I remember being in a place and wondering, what? As in, I did everything right. And it was so easy for me to start saying, God has let me down, I'm given up. But then I realized one very important thing. I didn't surrender. I hadn't surrendered. So I surrendered that moment in time and I said, you know what, God, I wanted this for myself. That's true. There's no doubt about it. And I was doing it from a selfish perspective. But because you're my father, you will be done. I never made money from that project like that. But fast forward, what God has been able to bless me has been hundreds times more than what I was going to get from those projects at that time. And that has been by his grace. But I understand why I couldn't get it then.
At that point.
Because I wasn't ready for it then. So he'll only disappoint you if you make it about you, not about him. Yeah.
Sean, David?
Yeah, no, I've had moments like those. I think a while back when I was job hunting. So, you're out of uni. I was exploring a couple of things in business, careers, and I seemed to keep getting gigs or engagements that were temporary, right? So it always felt like this door that's been opened is only a 6-month window. The next one, only a 2-month window. The next one is like one-time contract, get a small lump sum here, there, this, that. So things it wasn't giving this is a great career trajectory. It was like you're hustling and things are working, but they're working because there's many small things. I wanted a bit more consistency, security, structure, etc. And so, I was really trusting God at that time. And so, as any enterprising young man does, you send your CV everywhere, you talk to all the people you're like, let's do this, let's do that, let's go here, apply here, LinkedIn. And man, I think I went through a tough 6 months there where rejections were just back to back to back to back. And oftentimes I was getting so close.
Ooh, that's even worse.
You reach final interview. You've already started, you've bungered that salary. You've not even gotten it yet. You're like, man, what did I do with all of this? this. I remember there was even one where I had gotten to the final stage. And I guess I was just like, man, you've bagged this. Right? People who I knew who were working in that organization, they were like, dude, you're perfect.
You're the guy we're looking for.
They were like, you. Yeah,
it's you. This is you. This is you.
Let me tell you, it was not me. It was not me. And so, and I remember when I got the news, I was working at a startup, right? So I was hoping to transition.
Yes.
But man, and I remember I was in the ops team, and ops means you do everything. So they kind of had this, they were building schools and etc. So ops also meant I was dealing with carpenters. I'd paint a wall now and then, oh man. It wasn't as glamorous as it sounded. So I remember that time I was carrying wood or something, and I got this rejection from that place. And I just sat down. I was like, man, this is tough. God,
what's going on?
This is tough. Yeah, and so I felt let down, but when a door finally opened and I walked in there, I immediately understood why everywhere else was not a good fit for me. I immediately got it. I was like, man, in my selfishness, if I had control over the outcomes and I picked this instead of God directing me where I need to go, I'd have sold myself short, So I think hindsight is 20/20, but when you're in that moment, you're just like, hey, God has decided I'll be unemployed forever. God has decided I'll be a broke guy.
This is my destiny.
This is my clearly. Struggle is for me. But when he did come around, it did come around. And one thing I've learned is that when God does come around with something, now you become a full-time steward of that opportunity.
Yes, also recognizing your position in relation to it.
Yeah. Because you see, remember when we agreed to be Christians, people, I think a lot of people who get into the faith don't understand what they're agreeing to. They don't understand what they've signed up for.
Yeah.
Everything you do is a representation of him. Everything. And that's one thing most people don't get.
Yeah.
Yes, Jesus comes to save us, to give us new life and all that, but also we have a responsibility to him.
You become an ambassador.
We become an ambassador. What does an ambassador do? If you look at in the literal terms of what a government ambassador does or a brand ambassador does, there's terms and conditions. And a lot of the time, most people don't realize that, and God gave it to us. He says, go out and make disciples of all the people, all the nations, and tell them about him. And a lot of the time, we don't realize that God is sending us places to use us for his will. Like, remember there was a time where I believe it was Paul. Paul got stuck on an island. And like he was going somewhere. Yeah. He was going to preach somewhere. Then he crashed into this island after this big storm. As opposed to getting upset, he's like, you know what, let me do what I was going to do here for the people who are here.
Yeah.
He got bitten by the snake, he survived. People were shocked that this guy is still alive. He even walked off. They didn't understand how. So they learned about God through him. But he didn't realize the impact that he left for those people. So sometimes God, he knows where you want to go. But sometimes there's people who need you on the way to where you're supposed to go. And you may not realize it because even during those times, one thing I remember learning is that there's people who are watching me and there's people who need to learn about God through me, even in this particular season.
Yeah.
Because I was on the route, and you don't realize the impact you have on people until later.
Even you going through that struggle shapes you into who you need to be to receive that blessing.
Absolutely.
So I think mine, similar to yours, I'll keep it brief.
Yeah.
But what it showed me, like you're saying, perspective is so important because it also reveals to you your idols at that point. Was wealth something I was making an idol? So for my situation, similar to Sean's, was I was looking for a job. I might have had one, but I'd interviewed and I'd gotten to the final stage, and it had been one of those ones where you hadn't even been expecting to get that far. Yeah. So you're like, this is answered prayer. By the time I've gotten here, literally the partner's interview was easier than the manager's interview. Yeah. So I'm like, this one's in the bag.
It's done.
Yeah.
Then I get the rejection. Yeah. At that point, you'd already started seeing how you'd have doubled, tripled, quadrupled the income you're getting. Yeah. So you can visualize the life you'd be living, So that I think was very difficult. And I think also the process of hoping to get it, because in that process I had my mom and aunties pray for me. I had told her to tell her chama to pray for this one. This is the one. So you'd really prayed about it. And I think for me, the impact of that was it impacted my belief in prayer. And there's a way in which you can make it sound Christianese, afterwards for like, cool, the Lord's will be done. But really what you're saying was, God, whether I pray or not, you'll do what you want. So, go for it. What I didn't realize was it really impacted my faith for a long time. And only recently, or maybe not recently, but I've come out of that to see that, okay, there's still prayer. And you're not praying for the thing. You're praying for your heart position and what it does for you in the process. So that's been actually one of the things I've been learning. It hasn't been an easy journey, but I've been, and through people around me, gotten to a point where I really genuinely do believe in the power of prayer, and not for the thing, but for more so that intimate relationship with God. Yeah,
that's true. Because you have to get to a point where your heart is aligned with his will.
Yes. Whether it comes or it doesn't.
Or it doesn't. In fact, one thing I learned very clearly, once you align with what he wants, once you start wanting, because the problem is we want this, but God wants this. And where our challenges happen is that you're wanting this and you think this is the best thing in the world. It's so great. It's so perfect. But his will is for you so much higher. Because I've in similar positions, I've actually put myself down and said, you know what, God, I know you have this for me, but it's okay. I'll take the discount version.
this one.
Just give me the lower version.
Yes. Especially if it can come faster.
Because I realized we put so many limitations on God. He has such good plans for us.
Yeah.
And his plans require things to be aligned perfectly.
Yeah.
So we just need to be patient. In fact, the biggest challenge of faith that most people have is understanding sometimes it's a long game.
Yeah.
Sometimes a vision that he gave you 10 years ago doesn't manifest until, or start manifesting until 10 years later.
That's crazy.
Like when I was starting out my businesses, and I knew it, I knew that God wanted me to get roots. You know, strengthen my roots, my character,
The foundation.
my conduct, my behavior, how my faith, especially because a lot of people are going to rely on me to have strong faith so that we can build the businesses that we're building. If I didn't have the foundations which I have now, I wouldn't have been able to be able to inspire the people the way I'm able to inspire them. But it's because God worked on me. So sometimes His will requires us to choose His will and not our own.
Yes.
Because you would have made more money there.
Yeah.
But sometimes God has the money you're going to make as a result of where you are now.
Yes.
It's way more than you
True.
would have made there.
And it should have limited your view, because for then you start
Exactly.
thinking, okay, this is the way
This
I
is
make
it.
money.
Yeah.
Maybe
And I
you
need
didn't
to go
have
from
been
here
on
to
the
here to here.
podcast.
And you see, God does
Maybe you
like,
didn't have made it to the podcast.
it's true. Yeah.
Because I'd be
Yeah.
working like 10, 12-hour days
Yeah,
also.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and God doesn't want that for you. God wants to give you more, a life and life in abundance.
Yes.
But if He sees that, and it's not that God is opposed to you having wealth and money, He's opposed to something that limits and narrows your view to the point where you can't see His vision for your life. Because once you understand, sometimes it's crazy. Once you understand what God actually has planned for you, you will shut up and do what He says.
There's also a danger in comfort.
Yeah.
Because if you're
That's
comfortable, by the time I was making that money, would I really need to now start hustling and thinking about other things to do to get...
And how many
that as
people will
well.
be relying on you? Would you not be able to impact
Yes.
because of that? Because now with what you're doing right now, how many people have you employed? How many lives are you changing right now with the work that you're doing right now?
That's true.
Would you have been able to do that then?
Definitely not.
But you make more money from this, and you'll still make high impact,
And you'll have your time as
and
well.
you have all the
have your
time,
time as well.
to engage with who God wants you to engage with. Yeah.
I think we all get tested. Method had been married. God is still testing me. He hasn't even shown me someone. He hasn't shown me even someone.
No, maybe he's shown you, but you need to open your eyes.
Yeah.
Maybe she's around here.
She's around.
Can you take your
I just no, but I'm even joking about that. But yeah, like I look at it and I'm like, before I was just asking, I used to ask God, like, God, what the hell have I gone through? All this stuff, Then look, we're here on a podcast talking about that, the feedback that you get, oh my God, this helped me, this changed my life, So you look back and you say, okay, now I understand. And I think that's what happens sometimes when you feel like God is letting you down. There's something He's telling you that you're not ready.
Yeah.
And soon, my child, you will understand why. Yeah.
And that's the challenge of faith. You have to continuously remind yourself.
Absolutely.
Okay, God has His plan. It's good.
Yeah,
Let
it's
me
gonna
trust.
work out.
I might not see it right now.
Yeah.
I might not understand
Yeah.
or want to understand, but
Yeah.
push through,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also, don't let someone at chill and say, God akosawa. He got me. I know guys like
You have
that.
to do your
like,
part.
You have to do your part. Yeah.
Yes.
Be stand where He needs you to stand.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
When I look at it, other than faith, I think another important thing for men is, friendship or brotherhood. When you look at your lives, do you guys have someone you consider real friends, like someone you can call at, 2 a.m. and wherever you are or wherever they are, they'd get up and help you sort what you need to do?
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's lots of people who, lots is such an exaggeration.
Have you?
A few strong men.
I saw a meme that was like, oh,
As Sean talks, maybe you can think of just a number. Let's see.
Oh, like a
a
number.
number.
Oh, okay.
No. As you talk,
Yeah.
Then we just see whether it's around the same number or something.
Oh, mine would be so few, but I'm really trying to do better. Sometimes, as guys, we internalize a lot of our lives, experiences, struggles, pain, to a point where you're almost tempted to just have superficial relationships with people,
Guys, yeah.
or like just transactional ones.
Because you're not really relying on other people.
Yeah,
If you still want to handle it
You're
yourself.
too scared. Because,
Exactly.
yeah.
Because now it's like, okay, so if I can make all my ends meet, why do I need Matu so much? Okay, yeah, maybe he's a cool guy. We hang out, and it's like, but like, what else is there? So I found that it often helps when these relationships are intentional. So oftentimes I look at the guys around me and I'm like, okay, I need to at least be learning something from you, earning something with you. So we're like building something or trying something out. Perhaps it's exploring faith or Christ with these other guys.
Yeah.
And then, I found that there's like one or two who they're just orbiting there and are just friends. There's no particular thing you can pinpoint as to what it is. But I'm finding, especially in this current season I'm in, I'm being a lot more intentional about hanging out with my guy friends because I think, shout out to my dad, I think that's something that he did very well. And so growing up, I saw a lot of these positive male figures who are his buddies, right? So they're like my uncles, not biological, but
uncles,
would be closer than even a biological one, but it's because these are men that he chose and was like, okay, I'm gonna grow in my career and with family. Which guys do I want to grow with, right? So it's not like they're always together every weekend type of thing. But, as a kid, you're just like, yeah, that might as well be my dad's best friend. But it's when I now think about it as an adult, I'm like, they weren't hanging out every week or whatever. So I've also lowered my expectation of like, I don't need to look for you guys every week or find our calendars already crazy as they are.
Yeah.
But when we do find time to hang out together, are we intentional
about it?
How impactful is it?
Are we there? So I think I'm getting to that stage where I'm really serious about the men I surround myself with.
Yeah.
And so far so good. I'm enjoying having positive male friendships.
I think for me, this has been an area I'm very thankful for. I've been truly blessed. Like, I was born with, first, a brother, which is a blessing. 2, I've been born with many cousins, maybe too many.
These guys are too many.
Then on top of that,
Shout mash in the house like 5 figures of
then in the different seasons of my life, again, there have been friends who I've met and made and kept throughout. So guys from high school, with whom I still talk to literally every day. And those guys from uni, those guys in now different stages. So I've been truly blessed. I think guys who I could genuinely pick up the phone and call at 2 a.m., at least 8, which is a blessing. And also as you start to get to that time where you're thinking about marriage, it's like, okay, which guys would I want in my lineup? Those are guys who you'd want to know you can depend on. So I think that's a fair number. But like you were saying, in different seasons, you also don't have to talk every day. There are those guys who maybe we haven't talked in like a week, 2 weeks. But should we then, should I pick up the phone? We'll pick up from where we left off. I know I can rely on him. It's like, okay, what are the characteristics I've seen in him that I might want to emanate or
embody?
Yeah. Right. The same, like you were saying, there'll be different characteristics. So, this guy is very serious with the gym. It might be a gym friend. This guy works like unlike anyone else I've ever seen. And just by being around him, you go work together.
Infectious,
It's infectious. So having those things that you pick, and you're like, okay, I can grow from this person in this way.
Yeah.
And it's not actually calculated. But at the same time, you are impacting each other's lives for the better. Yeah.
I think for me, I'd say I have about 6 or 7.
Yeah.
We have a group. We meet once a quarter. And that was very intentionally created. There are friends who I know I can call for certain things. It depends.
Yeah, it depends on the situation.
Now, I wouldn't say I have a friend who I can call. Maybe I have like 1 or 2 friends who I can call to hide a body.
No, we need one of those. There needs to be 1 or 2.
So, but there's the friend, there's a group of friends who you can, if you're having a hard time, you can call. And there's one in specific who I know I can call day or night and we can chat. And he can also do the same for me. It was a professional relationship that turned into a friendship, which I'm very grateful for. So I think that's where it is. It wasn't always like that. There was a very many years where I was alone and isolated, and I believe God was doing that so that my relationship with Him can be strong. Because believe it or not, the first person I actually call is God before anything. That's my first primary friend.
Right.
The reality is I do call it when I'm in any trouble whatsoever.
Yeah.
Good or where things are going well or whether they're going bad or not, the first person I talk to is God.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of relationship that I've cultivated with Him. and it's a verbal communication. I say, God, I need help with this. I need help. Can you rescue me on this issue? Can you iron this out? And the moment I leave it to him, I know it's sorted. Yeah, this peace. So that's my primary person who I talk to. In terms of male friends, those people I'm talking about, I'm cultivating them now. I've actually been cultivating them very strongly in the last 5 years. I didn't have them before. And that's because, like I said, for a long time, I was just strengthening my relationship with God and learning to rely on him, because where he's taking me, I need to rely on him first before any other human being. So, so that's what I can say. I can say the first one is at least...
Even me, I think I have maybe like 6 or 7. But I think I've also been blessed, and that's one thing I do not take for granted. Sometimes I even ask God, like, where have you put so many amazing people in my life, you know? Because sometimes you don't even understand why. But I'm really grateful for that, you know? Like, I have guys, they'll say, yeah, Tupac, it's okay, we'll deal with it, bro. And, you know, it's that kind of comfort that it allows you to feel nice, you know? I think, like I've said here, bro, like, when I was going through my hard times, there's a time I'd call one of my friends at like 3 a.m. on like a Wednesday, and I'm telling you, bro, like, today is the day I'm killing myself if you don't pull up. And the guy would come and he'd pick me, and we'd drive all the way past the airport, say no word, nothing. I just cry. And then he'd come back and drop me home.
Damn.
Yeah. At like 3 a.m. on a Wednesday. And I was like, hey, bro, you're also a very nice friend. I don't know if I do that. Do I love my sleep? Do I love my sleep?
God has angels for you.
Yeah.
He was exactly where he needed to be for you.
Equipped for that season.
Yeah, he was equipped for that season.
No. I actually tell him all the time. I tell him, bro, I think you entered my life to save me. Yeah, because if it wasn't for him, I actually don't know where I'd be. Yeah, it's a lot of those conversations that we had.
And I think having gone through that, it also shows in the way you show up for people now.
Now,
Absolutely.
100%.
Because you can't leave your
He
change.
planted a seed inside
Yes.
you.
Yeah.
Now me, I'm that guy you'll call me even at like 3, you know?
Yeah.
Me, I'll come, bro. There's so many times I've been called, yo, Tupac, I'm faded. Can you come and drive me home? Say, okay, why not? Jump in a taxi, go drive all the way, come back in a taxi. It's cold as hell. You do what you gotta do. Yeah. And it's not also the other thing, and I think that's one of the things I've been learning with Apostle George, one of my mentors, and I guess he also started mentoring you. Is he's now teaching me what's the difference between sacrificial love and transactional love. And a lot of us, or a lot of how the world works, is we've been taught about transactional love. It's what am I getting from you? And that's why a lot of things also don't work out, because I say, oh my God, I feel like I've invested into Sean too much. I'm not receiving the same. That's a transactional relationship. But if it's not transactional, sacrificial, whether Sean shows up at 40 and I show up at 60, it doesn't matter. Whether you show up, you know?
That's true.
Yeah, even like when I ask you guys, when you look at your relationships, you won't, maybe like for you, Matu, if today you take care of Alora, you won't say, Althea May took care of her. Now it's up to you.
I don't keep score on things like that.
Exactly.
It's
you know,
not
but a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
You know, and then they keep it internally, and then that's what messes them. Because
breed
you never
resentment.
release.
It's like, bro, I've been giving and giving and giving, and this person's been giving 10% for the last year, and that's something you have to watch out for. All relationships, not just between
Very
guys.
true.
You know, because it can become a cancer.
Yeah. I think one of the guys we had on the podcast the other day that talked about divorce, that's why he divorced. For like, he said, was it 8 or 7 years? He felt like he had been feeding into someone, but there was nothing he was getting in return.
So he initiated it.
Yeah, you know, like just exactly what you told us. And I think I even told him that on that podcast, because I remember there's a time, I don't know whether we sat here as well, and you told us that the guy who she dates is who she expects you to be when you're married. Yeah.
That's it.
So now he was that guy. You know, baddest girl. So you know when you're dating the baddest girl, you have to overcompensate. You have to go above and beyond, bro. Me, I've been in those relationships. So now, So, and then now he thought things would, like, now they're married, would kind of
balance
switch,
out.
But he says relationships, what you see in someone in a relationship will only blossom in the marriage. So don't think the bad will become less. In fact, it'll become worse.
Especially if we don't address it.
Yes.
Because see, a lot of the things that we do is we don't have conversations.
Yeah.
And the thing is about the gentleman, that generation never had conversations. Never had tough conversations. Because can you imagine having a conversation with your wife? So even before you got married, we were having tough conversations about the nature of our relationship. What are your expectations from me? What are you expecting me to be or who to become, and so on and so forth? That's what makes our generation different, because you can do the worst thing, and I've learned about it in therapy: unfulfilled expectations. Unmet expectations or unheard expectations are the biggest killer to marriages. Yeah. And to friendships. But it's because they are unexpressed.
Yeah.
Thinking
Nobody's a
that-
mind reader.
Thinking the other person will know what you want to say or how you feel. But for me, honestly, that's one thing I really, really don't like. I was about to say hate, but hate is such a strong word. Me, I'm so big on communication. I don't like this thing for you're trying to take me like this. Just tell me as it is, bro. I'm already going through so much in my mind.
Be straightforward.
Just come and tell me you want to pop X, Y, and Z,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to navigate the shows, you know.
I guess also grace, knowing where someone is at and what they're able to give, and have that mindset for like, okay, cool.
That's true.
Maybe she's only able to give 20% or he's only able to
At
give
that time.
40. So I'm giving the 80.
Yeah.
But doing that without also then now keeping score. Because that's the hard part.
That's true.
You can't keep score.
Like even for me, I'm down even giving 100 for even a year. Like as long as there's communication, me that's all I ask. But don't give me mixed signals, bro. We're not playing imposter.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to guess who the imposter is. Yeah. But one thing I've also, I think, first of all, also chilling with you guys, one thing I've liked is the sober-minded chilling, because I think that's, so important. Because it's actually conversations that like this we have.
Yeah.
It's true.
But like, why do you think a lot of men isolate when going through things?
Shame.
I really think it's a shame thing.
Yeah.
Especially, again, I love that saying of, we're not human doings, we're human beings. But a lot of shame from a man comes from when, first of all, we are not living up to our potential, right? Or, there's some sort of shortcoming or disconnect between who you think you want to be and who you've idealized you want to be and who you actually are. And I think when these two worlds can't reconcile in a man's mind, there's just a dark sense of despair and hopelessness.
And insecurity guilt, that's also built. It's on like what's this? That syndrome. Imposter syndrome.
Syndrome.
It's crazy because I think when we feel that sense of like, man, I'm not that guy. We like to be that guy.
Yeah.
No, you do.
Yeah, and so the isolation piece is us saying, okay, look, if I can't look at myself right in the mirror, I also don't want the world to look at me in this state, right? I'd rather deal with this by myself. I'd rather
face it
only disappoint myself than open things up to the world, seeing my scars or seeing my shortcomings. So we
just
isolate.
to throw a spanner.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a bad thing, So hear me out. So assuming first how you're isolating and the period for which you're isolating. Because like also at work, employers will tell you, don't come to me with a problem without a solution. So for you, it's like, there's a problem here I'm seeing, and I don't want to come and be like, problem. I want to come and say, there's a problem here and the solution. Even if it's like the smallest bit of hope, I want to be presenting the issue with something I've thought through that could work out or something.
True.
So for me, it's like, cool, I will isolate to a certain degree. I'm not talking about now going and being a lone wolf. It's like, calm, I'm going through it. And especially when you're going through it at like the peak, it's like, okay, first manage myself. Because again, I think there's a responsibility as a man.
Absolutely.
To self.
Yeah.
2, go think it through enough. Of course, you're never going to think through everything, and having other people's perspective definitely helps. But as you're coming forward with the problem, be like, sour, I do have this problem. And these are maybe 1, 2, 3 solutions I have. What do you guys think? So still come and speak to people. But I do think there's sense behind processing it first on your own and then now taking steps.
I'd say as long as the coping is healthy. Right?
True.
Because the tendency to now take that isolation and it morph into things like you falling into addictions or you know, you
try
trying
to
to
escape.
that escapism actually is an aversion to consciousness, right? So in your conscious sober state, these problems are apparent, these problems are like a problem, these problems are back of mind. But if you opt to then distract yourself or get intoxicated or, you know, alter your conscious state, you can then temporarily put those things aside and find that quick dopamine hit, you know. So I think it's a very thin edge. It's like a knife's edge there of, okay, lock in and grind this thing out because there's a place for that.
Yeah.
True.
Like David was saying. But then there's also a place where now a guy won't do that, but will do the opposite and is like, this is tough.
This one is
Let's escape.
future-based problem.
Yeah.
I might as well just get fried day to day, and
you give
maybe
up.
maybe it'll pass.
Yeah. I think shame is a very, very big one, and people are afraid. Men are afraid.
We are.
And the sad thing is we don't ever discuss our fear. And the only way to win against fear is to openly call it out as what it is. And you don't have to go around publicly announcing, I'm afraid. At least admit it to yourself and to God. I'm afraid of this, I'm afraid of this, I'm afraid of this. Yeah. And you realize a lot of the time when you look at some of the fears, they're not as big as you'd imagine. The things I feared in 2017, or even 2018, I don't even think about those things anymore because I put it into perspective in my life now. You know, there's a time where I used to be so afraid of rent, for example. I'm like, goodness, what am I gonna do? And that was I felt like my whole world was dark.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I was, like everything is, it's all, like, my world is burning. But now when I look back and I'm like, I can't believe I was even worried about that. And God had me. In the times most people don't realize, in the time when God isolates you or needs you to be isolated, it's not for you to escape, especially when you're feeling that despair and those feelings. It's for you to build a relationship with Him. That's why every successful person in the Bible, David, your Josephs, your even Jesus himself,
Elijah as well,
John the Baptist himself, there was an element of isolation. Actually, there was a primary element of isolation. Yeah. So you can build your relationship with God, so that you can learn how to turn to God. The big challenge I found with a lot of people is that when they get into a place where they're stuck, number one, they don't seek God. Number two, they don't obey God.
Oh, true.
You know, there's a time I messed up my life right after university. I had this baby coming through out of wedlock. I had no income. I had moved into a place for this. I'd moved into a house with this girl, which was a mistake on my part. All that stuff, I knew I had messed up. And I remember crying to God and saying, God, now, what do I do? And He gave me the hardest instruction, which I had to follow up until that point in my life, which was you need to leave. You need to walk out. Yeah. Leave, walk out to this girl, forget about her. I'll deal with it. I'll deal with whatever situation there is. You just leave. And I remember if I didn't have that relationship with God, the macho man in me would be like, no, I can't leave. You know, this is my responsibility.
Society says.
Society says. But you have to be unashamed of your obedience. You know, Noah, if you think about it, Noah was a mad guy. Until it started raining.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, until it started.
Noah was crazy. What do you mean you're cutting trees to make a boat? Yeah? This moron. Who do you think you are to
how big is this boat?
How big is this boat you're building? What's wrong? Are you high?
Where's the ocean?
Where's the ocean? We're dry land. You know, and I'm sure there are guys who are insulting him.
Yeah.
So obedience, which is the scariest step, because a lot of guys know what they need to do, but a lot of guys are too afraid to do it.
Oh, real.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of guys are too afraid to make the decision that they need to make so that they can become the man who they're supposed to be.
Because it's always a hard decision.
And it's not that it's hard, it's uncomfortable.
That's true.
and often contradict traditional wisdom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or what society, especially not even traditional, societal wisdom.
Yes, yeah.
Which
what
is
the world thinks
stay
is the next best
this.
thing.
And
Yeah.
the thing is, in order for you to become successful and for God to use you, you have to go against the world. Because our first Jesus Christ, what is one thing about Jesus that made him stand out? He was completely contradicting everything that he believed.
Yeah.
That's why they killed him. Not because of anything else. Because they said he was a heretic for saying he was the son of God. He was a king of, they call him the prince of demons because he was healing people and casting out demons. So in their mind, he did everything wrong.
Yep.
But he had to, that is his job. That's who he was called to be.
It also highlights the importance of, I guess, that intimacy with God, to know this is what God is saying to me. Let me go and obey and walk in confidence of that. You know, it's not going to be a thing.
And ignore
What?
And you also have to learn to cut out certain friends and family. Like for me, when in my time in the wilderness, I had to cut out my family because I had to just be so focused on what God is telling me, so I can write it down and just align myself to Him. Because on one end, your mom will tell you, you should really, because they had a job for me lined up after university. I said, no, I'm not doing that. I know where where I'm being led to, and that's what I'm going to do. So all my mom, her friends, they all shut me out. They're like, this guy is becoming stubborn, he's arrogant, leave him. Now the script has changed. We always believed in you. But you see, it's because when I was doing it, I was the Noah. Yeah. I think maybe we should discuss the conference now that we've discussed hard decisions. Yeah.
We need you guys to make one.
Yeah.
But it's not that hard of a
It's not that
decision.
hard. It's hard because it'll change your life.
True.
And that's a good thing. So I'll let Keith talk a bit about it.
First of all, even before I talk about the conference, thank you to our biggest sponsor. Bro, thank you for moving some strings and making some magic.
No, it'll happen. It has to happen.
Yeah.
That's what David does.
Yeah.
That's
So that's
for
his
real.
thing.
If you see, it's good you didn't get that job.
Just talk to David.
It's good you didn't get the job, yeah?
Exactly. If I want anything help from David, his number is 07.
I was like, hey.
But no, thank you so much, bro. Like, honestly, even I ask myself sometimes, because when we had this conversation with Matu, I ask myself, why did we decide 2 days? Why did we decide a location outside of Nairobi? Would have it been easier? There's so many questions that are still so, unanswered. But yes, guys, we are actually doing a men's conference. The 4 of us, including Muli and 3 wonderful ladies, Shiko, Sheena, and Roxanne, are planning a men's conference just to kick it with the guys' men's conference. And like Sean said, it's not just a conference where you'll come sit and be talked to. It's experiences, activities. None of that at 6 hours talking. Even I can't stand that 6 hours talking.
How men learn.
Yes, how men learn.
We're gonna learn how men learn.
Yeah. Come there. You're divided into teams, team activities, solo activities, workshops, and everything. But yeah, I think it's actually coming, guys. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wake up and I'm like, wow, But thank you actually also for all the hard work you guys are putting into this.
Maybe speak about why you...
The conference. Yeah, so we've decided to have a conference, or we decided, I think, we've had this conversation and then finally we just said, okay, why not try? And I think it's to address issues that us men face and don't have such safe spaces to talk about. So this conference will talk about health, family and relationships, finances, identity, purpose and ego, vices,
Faith.
and faith. Yeah. So we will share the link. You can RSVP using the link, and we'd love to see you all there. But I'll also let these guys, say a bit about the conference, maybe why they felt called to be part of it, and also to share their stories in the conference.
Yeah, I could kick things off. I think it's been something close to my heart for a very long time. And my love for men.
It's not weird. No. But why
Nobody. You know the thing is, you even pause.
I saw where
the
this is
sad thing is,
going.
guys, like 100 years ago when you said that, nobody would flinch.
Yeah.
But why is it now when you say love for guys or love for men?
Yeah.
It's weird. It can't,
And appreciation for the
and
gents.
appreciation for
The Lord
men.
said we must love one another. You know what I mean? Come on,
Yeah,
guys.
but I know what you mean.
You know what I
Don't worry,
mean?
Yeah, I know.
Awesome. So my love for men's ministry and the creating spaces where we can be who we are, we can discover who we are in light of who God says we are as men. Creating spaces where we can also just have a blast, right? Also, deep on my heart was just like fatigue. I was like, man, I'm tired. I just need a weekend
Away.
to absolutely kick it with the guys, right? So we've got activities lined up.
Yeah.
Lots of great food.
Yeah.
This isn't one of those where like we're coming and it's a boot camp and whatnot. Like we're chilling.
No Kikuyu wedding food. Guys.
Nah,
No Kikuyu wedding
no
food.
ocean of peace.
No. Or a samosa that's veggie.
A rice samosa.
None of that. And the whole idea there is let's bring guys who, movers and shakers in different industries, people who are coming to learn and explore and expand their networks, people who are coming to give, and also people who are going there to receive. So, we've invited a really incredible mix of men, and we really hope that you guys could join us out there. We're going to be in the amazing Lukenya Getaway mid-November, the weekend of 21st to 23rd. And
It's International Men's.
Yeah, just after Men's International Day, which is on the 19th. Yeah.
so we're really doing this thing for you guys, and it's actually going to be a retreat. So don't even think of it as like a conference.
I don't know why we wrote conference. Actually,
we should
it's
have-
a retreat.
Yeah.
Or experience.
Yeah, experience. Yeah.
In fact, we'll scrap conference from that
Yeah.
thing, right?
Yeah.
It's really a retreat. And I'm really hoping that the speakers that we've lined up would be able to edify you as men. The activities that we've lined up will be able to get you your blood pumping, your competitive spirit up, and we're just going to have an absolute blast.
First of all, guys, everyone on this table is hella competitive.
No,
Every
we all
sport
are.
Yeah,
we
very
play,
much are.
we are
And
very
proudly.
competitive.
And proudly
so be
so.
ready for that.
Yeah, and proudly so.
Yeah.
We really are.
I think just to add, guys have said most of it, but two, I think it's to create a culture of men investing in other men. So actually one of the key challenges at the end of the conference will be to have men commit to invest in at least 2 or 3 other men. So that's what we want. I think we've also been fortunate to be surrounded by a lot of men who've been positive influences in our life. And we also see it as a way to invest and give back. So it's going to be an exciting time. Yeah, looking forward.
Absolutely.
I think, as you know, it's something that I've been having conversations with all of you guys about, and something that I can proudly say that I'm passionate about my gender and about helping them get back on track. Really I am, because we have been neglected ourselves.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say society has neglected us. I'd say number one, we've neglected ourselves.
Yeah.
We have abandoned ourselves in our posts. We've stopped taking care of ourselves mentally and emotionally. We've become passive men, which is very disappointing. There's reasons for that, but there's also solutions for the reason why we become passive, and we've neglected those solutions. So I'm excited for us to have time where we can at least start the conversation on how do we become more active as men? How do we be the men that are gained independence for this country?
Wow.
Those were men. For me, I look back and I'm like, my grandfather, who was one of my biggest influences for masculinity, that was a man. You know what I mean? Like, that guy was a man. I love that man because he gave me the blueprint for how to be a man. From what I saw about him, not just from his achievements, which were great and many, but from his character, from his personality,
How he lived his life.
How he lived his life. This was a man's man. And I admire that, and sometimes I my desire is to one day fit into his shoes because of the kind of man that he was. And that's what I want to discuss, and I feel like we should bring back in our generation so that the next generation can benefit. How do we bring back that strong charactered man in a way that also acknowledges the emotional side, of who we are, because I think that's where the challenge was. It was they were very
Both
tough,
extremes.
strong, but there was no balance.
Yes.
So that's what I think that we need to start working on. How do we gain balance? How do we be able to say, okay, fine, mental health is a real issue, but you also need to be tough.
Yeah.
That's the truth. I understand you're going through a hard time. I understand you're depressed, but you need to be tough and get out of this depression so that you can be useful to yourself, not even to society, but to yourself. Yeah, because that's a place that we haven't discussed or engaged.
Yeah. Like you're saying, save a man, save a family.
Absolutely.
And that's how you change society.
Change society.
Number one. And two, this is going to be a thing that, by God's grace, will be year on year.
Absolutely.
Annually,
Yeah.
No, I think just to also add on maybe what you guys have said is it's probably what our plan is, God will, is to have it annually.
Yeah.
On the weekend, just around Men's International Day.
Yeah.
But also we'll have a lot of smaller things within the year.
Absolutely.
As we build up to this. You know, smaller things maybe to discuss certain other those key topics.
Yeah.
We still don't know. We're being led, you know. Yeah. But I think to the people who are saying, why should I come? I think you need to come because, or if you come, you'd leave with tools, resources, insight, knowledge of how to show up in families, relationships, friendships, and community and society as a whole. That's what we're giving you. And on top of that, fun and definitely brotherhood.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if anyone... Oh, yeah, go ahead.
No, go.
No, and if anyone would like to come on board also as a sponsor, right? As we're bringing all these men together, I know there's different organizations or brands who also have a mission for men.
Yeah.
So we'd also like to open it up to you guys. Come chat with us. Let's see how we can also partner with you and position yourselves to also create impact alongside us as we'd like to during this retreat.
And I think it's important. And I think for anyone who comes, if you come there to actually want to be there and you immerse yourself in the experience, you will definitely live with contacts that have the possibility to change your life.
Absolutely.
Because again, even when we look at it, some of the, maybe also what we didn't tell them is, other than speakers, we have invitees who are just men we believe that should be in that space to influence other men positively. So yeah, guys, I think we're excited. I hope you're equally excited, Yeah. But back to it, we're talking about building brotherhood. What's something you guys have learned about brotherhood over the years?
I think one thing I've learned is that it can evaporate in seconds, right? It takes a long time. Actually, not that long, but us guys, you find a guy and you really click.
Yeah.
I think getting to that point of like brotherhood, it's not too hard for guys. We have a good nose for, is this a fishy guy or not?
Yeah, that's true.
So I think but what can also happen equally as fast is that relationship evaporating. And so I'm a big advocate for brotherhood, but brotherhood with boundaries. And what I mean there is like, okay, if both of you should not be doing business together.
Don't do business together.
Don't do it, right?
Yeah.
If you both are trying to chase the same woman,
Don't do it.
don't do it. Yeah.
Have a conversation.
You must. Yeah. So I think when trust gets into that picture of the beauty of brotherhood is that trust, right? That I can call David and say, dude, I know you're a catering and hospitality guru. I need this thing sorted. I know I can trust you.
Yeah.
But, and that's the beauty of brotherhood. But, also on the other side of things, knowing that if we broke each other's trust, rebuilding that is so difficult.
That's true.
So I think in our brotherhoods, one thing I've learned is that we must always keep respect and trust paramount and dead in the center. Otherwise, it can become really toxic quite fast.
I think the importance of brotherhood is just adding on to what Sean said is understanding that we have to also learn to, it has to be mutual, mutually beneficial first and foremost, because you find a lot of the time it can be very one-sided for various reasons. And it's not, I'm talking about you have to give me business because I've given you business. it's also don't take and give nothing. And that's one thing that we need to have as conversations as men and say, we can't just use each other, because that's what I found a lot of people do. You find there's always that guy who's hyper ambitious, who he's there for networks and to use those networks and dump.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they wonder why they don't have
Friends.
any friends, especially in their older age. They're looking for people nobody wants to hang out with them because they've treated everyone like a carpet.
Yeah.
And I think with brotherhood, it's about learning. Don't treat your brothers like carpets. Don't, just because someone has been kind to you, don't abuse or mistreat them.
Yeah.
You know, because I've had experiences like that where you're the kindest friend, you have access, you've given that people access to everything, and they take you for granted or they mistreat you, and you're like,
Yeah.
why would you do that? I thought we're friends. You know what I mean? Like, why would you be okay with that behavior towards me?
Yeah.
You know?
I think for me, my philosophy on brotherhood is simple. I have 3 rungs. So I have my inner circle, and I'll have my expectations for the guys in my inner circle. I have my outer circle, or like that's where now friends are. Then your acquaintances, and then people can move in and out of those ranks depending on how they're showing up. So for me, a big thing is extending grace to people. You don't know what they're going through, what season in their life they're in. Maybe they might not be at a position to show up for you as you might expect. Doesn't mean I'm going to cut out this person or they're now not a good friend. But it's like, okay, cool. Maybe let me reduce my expectations for you for this season.
Yeah.
And should there be a season where I'm going through it, you know, I'd hope the same would be
do the
extended
same,
backwards. Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the craziest thing is, even for me, I think there's a time I sat with one of my uncles and he told me the craziest thing. And I even told him, just wait before you continue. Let me write this down on one of my notes. And he told me the biggest mistake a lot of young men make these days is thinking everyone is their friend or everyone is their brother. Yeah. And Tupac, I want to tell you something. People, you have more acquaintances than friends. You need to realize that your friends are very few. And he told me, you know how you judge those two things? Acquaintances are people you have the same likings for, the same things for, or the same interest. Friends are probably people that you share similar values with. And I was like, okay, wow. You know, because I used to be a guy I used to want a brother here, You know, I used to be that guy, I want bros, you know. But that beat me as well, you know, and it actually kind of hurt me when I went through some of the things with people who I considered bros, you know. But for me, I think when I look at brotherhood these days, it's simple and it relates to a verse. You know, as iron sharpens iron, so does one man sharpen another. And for me, when I look at brotherhood like that, it means that we're not in competition against each other. We're not racing or we're not fighting against each other. We both need to work with each other to better the other person. Yeah. And it requires equal effort. Sometimes you can do the right side harder or the left side, but you know what you're doing. The sharpening is still happening. Yeah. So I think, you know, another thing we're talking about in the conference is identity, purpose, and ego. And what's the difference between ego and confidence?
I like that question.
For me, I'd say confidence is knowing that I may not be like I have God at my back.
You're not the source.
Yeah, I'm not the source.
Yeah.
That's confidence. That's why I can go and have conversations with people and say, you know, I can go back to my father. He got me.
Yeah.
When I'm asking you for something, I know my God is backing me. So I can confidently tell you I can do this thing.
Yeah.
Ego is thinking I can do it because I'm me.
Yeah.
I'd also say a part of that confidence piece is capability as well. So because you are capable and have capacity to do something, therefore you are also confident in your ability to do something or be in a space. So there's an element there of skill and capability that sometimes backs confidence. And of course also, you know, God or identity also backing that. Ego tends to be image driven, right? I find that ego is a lot of I've done this so I look like this, you know, or I have this, therefore this is my image now, right? So ego is very much centered around self-idolization, right? So yeah, that would probably be the difference, because I know people who are very confident but have absolute humility. But oftentimes the difference is that they're very confident because they're highly capable or highly skilled in that thing they do.
Yeah.
So it's just a natural response to your capability that you're confident in what you're doing.
Yeah, I think just building slightly on what you're saying, it's the difference between, like you're saying, image versus where you're at and who you know yourself to be.
Yeah.
But two, I think it can be skill-based or task-based. So I can be very confident in doing one thing, say building financial models, because I've been doing it for the last 5-6 years of my life. Versus ego is, I'm this guy, and across the board, I want to be held at this level.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
I feel you.
And actually, now that you guys have answered like this, I think my next question would be like, so ego could drive you or it could destroy you. How do you balance that? Because for me, I think ego is not too bad if it's not overdone. You know, you have to also have some pride as a man.
That delusion that gets you to reach higher than probably you should be
But
reaching.
you see, that's what I would call confidence, because that, or faith actually, because I believe I can do this because I have the faith.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think for me, what number one, I'm not the source.
Yeah.
Number two, I believe everything I do to bring honor and glory to God. So it's very faith centered. So I know for a fact when I'm trying a big business, as you guys know, I'm making these huge plans, I know I have someone backing me. So whereas I know I have the skills, very true, because there are a lot of guys who have the skill. Some people even more skilled than I am, but they're not where I am. And it's because God has, I know I'm not the source of any of this success or the future that God has for me.
And I think a big part is also where the glory goes when you achieve those things. If it's coming to me, that's feeding my ego. You know, it's like, oh, that's me. You know, I did this. Versus being able to say, I did it, but through
Grace of
God's
God.
grace.
God.
Great grace, yeah. Because I tell people there are people who we've had this conversation before. There are people who outwork us, who are working right now, but none of them are going to see half the things that we've seen in our lives, and that's sad. You see, it's because it's not about whether you work hard or not, whether you're the smartest guy in the room. There's guys with 3 degrees who are living under bridges in Nairobi. They're smarter than us.
Yeah.
Why is it that we get to sit where we are and they are stuck under a bridge? Shouldn't it be the other way around?
But it's actually just the grace.
It's the grace of God.
Yeah. You know, usually when I'm playing golf, there's this hole in Royal, hole number 5. So hole number 5, there's a wall. And on the other wall, the other side of the wall is Kibera. And like every day I play and I pass that hole, I just say like, you know, it's not me, it's not anything that I did to be born on this side. It's definitely like the grace of God.
Yeah.
And I don't take that for granted, you know. But yeah, also I think another thing that really, really, really defines us men is money. But how are you guys trying to measure how successful you are without your bank account?
Impact for me. Impact. How many... Money is good. Like, I'm not going to lie to you and say, oh, I don't... I love having money. I love having money. I love the idea of being wealthy. I love being wealthy and having access to wealth. I love it completely. But I like the idea that... Not just so I can show off.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of being able to say, you know, we've helped someone's life. I can impact someone's life. Number one, not just through finance, but through the person God has made me.
Yeah.
That they can look up to me and say, you know, Matu is a real believer. And they can be like that. As in, Matu lives it every day.
Yeah.
You know, and when I'm 90 years old, I want them to be still saying, wow, Matu lived the faith discussion, the faith talk. Yeah.
Man, yeah, you've asked a tough one.
Yeah. No, but you see, this is a tough question we've been asking you guys at the conference. I know some of you will shy away from them. At the retreat. Yeah.
No, that's a tough one, because you've also said without measuring what's in your bank account. Yeah, I think lately I've not done a good job of separating the two, right?
I like the honesty.
Just to be honest, because you know, sometimes the things you want to do are directly linked to
What
your
you can,
financial capability to pull it through, or the financial impact of what is the outcome of your efforts. So it's very hard as a man who is gearing up to be a provider soon, gearing up to start a family. It's very hard to divorce the two. But I think what has given me, there's a bit of a silver lining there, which is sometimes I do look at my work and the impact that the hard work that I do during all those hours in the day
That you can't
has
reach you.
on those hours you can't reach me. I sometimes look at that and I say, you know what, actually there's impact there, because sometimes like I work in a fund, right? So it's not like I own it. But sometimes when you're not running the ship, it's hard to feel like you're not the one creating impact. So there's been some times I sit and I'm like, man, if this was all me, then I'd be making so much impact. But then I realized, wait, no, but you do have a part
you are playing a big part
in all of this. So I think what's helped me with that is taking a step back and realizing that my day-to-day contributions within this path that God has intentionally put me on, which I know is where I need to be, there are externalities and like a domino effect of my actions, which can be attributable to me.
Absolutely.
And so sometimes as men, we're tempted to feel like small cogs in the machine, especially in different corporate or organizational settings. Or even you look at your business and you're like, hey, but there's Dangote out there who's doing big things, and me, I only have like 3 outlets. But I think as men, we need to just take that step back and look at our immediate surroundings and our sphere of influence and realize that, the fact that you earn money, you've employed a nanny at home, right? These kids who that has gone off and educated, right? There's a family that is being fed. You're able to support your siblings or other family members. When things come up, you're able to be like a positive contributor. So sometimes I sit back and look at those things and I'm like, actually, there's impact that I'm able to create.
Absolutely.
And whether or not it had something to do with what's in my pocket, I mean, money is a tool at the end of the day.
It is.
And it can be our identity and be it all about our impact. It's not all the money. Those are the smaller things.
Yeah. I think making money should be a goal, but not the goal.
Yeah.
Recognizing that purpose comes first.
Absolutely.
And making money will be a byproduct of that. If you're in line with what God wants for you and you're working diligently towards it, you'll make money. But it's also not then shifting the attention
To focus only on money.
on what, this money can do for you and who you are now because of X amount in your bank account. It's
And
having
having
that
money,
perspective.
having blind money in itself will never just make you happy. Isn't just at some point that gets old really quick.
That's now when you fall into that trap of chasing pleasure. Because don't get me wrong,
Exactly.
money can get you pleasure.
Yeah, it
But
can.
it's a trap.
It's a trap.
Don't fall for it.
Don't, and
All
the thing,
sorts.
of all sorts of things. And the thing is, a lot of people need to realize that money in itself, it's supposed to, you're supposed to edify your personality, make your not edify, rather build your personality, so that because if people just know you for having money and your personality is terrible, guess what? You're going to attract the wrong people, number one. And the people who you initially wanted to attract because you had money don't want anything to do with you. Because ultimately, you want to be interesting. You want to be a nice person to sit and have meaningful conversations like this around. And you find that there are those people who only focus on having money and are vain. And then there are people who I know, at least personally, who have a lot of money, who are very wealthy, but are so full of substance that I can sit at their feet. They don't have to give me a shilling. All I want is to hear them speak. You see? And that's what money should really do for you. That it should be able to put you in a position where whatever God has put inside you can come out. You see? Yeah. Because the truth is, it's hard to have these conversations if we weren't given a head start. Like if I was a homeless guy on the street, there's no way Keith is going to invite me here. He's not going to do
But
that.
we're looking to have those unconventional conversations.
And I'd love to
share
see it.
broader, like
This guy's media trained.
Exactly. He knows exactly what to
the
say.
PR answer.
no, but it's true. Like I'm actually like I want to have a conversation with a spy.
Spy.
Yeah, like bro, I want to have a conversation with a guy who went like to war in Somalia just to share his stories. And have a conversation with exes to see how they feel.
Exes, like your exes.
Like your exes.
I've tried like 3, they refuse. Maybe they're watching this, they could reconsider. No, but imagine how interesting it'd be. Those unconventional, look at the ones for parents and child.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's true.
those are really good.
So guys, thank you for, the amazing conversation that we've had. As we wrap this, I'd have loved for it to continue, but we have to wrap it up.
Yeah.
So as we come to the kick it section, maybe my first question is, what's a friendship or what's a brotherhood you've had that's changed your life, and what did that teach you about brotherhood?
Yo.
There's one changed my life to this day.
Yeah.
He's a very good friend of mine, I said, and I don't know where I'd be without the conversations that I had with this gentleman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sean or David?
I think for me, it's just having that blessing of having friends who've seen you through so many seasons in your life. There's so much context. By the time I'm having a chat with him, it's not like I need to now give him a team. When I was 18, I did this. So friendships I've had for, at this point, pushing on 20 years.
Wow.
Like, it's not a small thing. So I'm really thankful. We actually met and became close. We met in middle school, but really became close in high school. And then we've been in different countries, but he's seen me through so many different seasons. Yeah, definitely such a blessing.
Yeah, I'd say I have like 1 or 2 friends who particularly have stood the test of time and distance as well. So very close buddies who, even if we're now separated geographically, and we catch up periodically once in a while, it's one of those where it's like
You pick up where you left off.
we always pick it up where we left off.
And that's such a blessing. You know?
It's such a blessing
It is,
each and every time. And there's no expectation that I should chat with you every day. Maybe you send memes to each other every other
Yeah,
day.
you have those two groups.
Yeah,
You have
exactly.
a group on IG.
Right?
Yeah.
So I do that, and I think those are really special. There are lots of other brotherhoods who I have, they're closer, maybe it's been for a long time, but I think those ones are special because there's effort and just, it's hard to keep in touch as men when you're far. So I appreciate those.
I think the one thing that I like that social media has introduced to us is that thing for like sending a meme or sending something. So might not chat with the guy every time, but that meme or something lets you know the guy's okay.
Yeah.
Streaks on
I know,
Snapchat.
Yeah.
At least
Like-
this guy's alive.
It's started today.
I think as much as we sometimes bash social media, I think that's the greatest thing it's done.
That's true.
Yeah.
Because
It's kept us connected.
now, especially some days when I don't receive like a reel from someone in like 4 or 5 days, now that's when I'll call and hey,
you okay?
boss, what is it?
Are you good?
But without that thing, I don't think you really think about it.
Touch points.
Yeah. What's a financial principle you'd like to teach the next generation of men? Maybe we can start with Mr. Finance.
I think the biggest one I've learned this year is tithing. I think that one for sure. Tithing and then save first.
Yeah.
So tithe.
Tithe
and
first, then save.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Tithe and then put the cash aside to savings
Yeah.
and then now survive off the rest. Because unless you do it, you'll just be,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'd say the biggest one I live by and have seen immense fruits from is living way below your means. Not just below, way. Because you create so much potential for upside when now you have a lot more liquidity from your income sources. But also you've protected yourself. You've protected yourself from the buffers of life, like the ups and downs, the this and that. You've created a very healthy buffer between you and the real world by living below your means. So I think that one is a major key.
For me, has been faith and tithing. I'm learning to save now.
Guys, I also tithe. Hey, in case you're wondering, I'm the only guy who's not still tithing. I also do.
That's what you way below your means. I love it.
But for me, because I am in entrepreneurship, tithing obviously is number one. Earn more.
Yeah, I like that.
Earn more.
Make more money.
Make more money. As in,
Yeah.
there's someone who once I heard say, I don't have a spending problem, I have an earning problem. If I increase my earning, my spending will take care of itself.
Yeah.
So increase your earnings as in very intentionally, because I think that's something that we don't ever, because we went to these various financial courses like Santonomy and all that, there's never a discussion about, are you trying to find new ways to increase your income?
Yeah.
Because you see, these things follow the intention. You see, there's people who are earning a salary, but they have a side hustle that's making them an extra 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 a month.
Yeah.
Even me as a owner of a business, there's a side hustle I have as the owner of my business, so that I have extra income as Matu, because I have my salary, which I draw for my own companies, but the rest is for the company. Then I have to have my own deals on the side that are flowing for me in my pocket. You know what I mean? So I believe earn more. Tithe being at the center, because tithe secures your wealth, secures the resources. Earn more, and then have a plan. Have a goal. Don't use a cookie cutter solution for the rest of your life. Because see, there's the cookie cutter solution you save for retirement, but as we've seen in the world through various recessions and people who are suffering even with those plans, is sometimes you can do that, and if you don't have income even until your old age, not your savings, actual income, you're going to struggle.
Actually, a thing I learned recently was building wealth is more a behavioral thing than a personal discipline thing.
Yeah.
It's not because I saved 20 shillings on this coffee or I didn't buy X, Y, and Z. It's training yourself to, like you're saying, live below your means, live a lifestyle that you can afford comfortably. Change your behavior, and the money will come.
It's true. And then learn to earn more.
Yes.
Find ways to get more money into your pocket. Because the average millionaire has 7 sources of income. And that's something that we always forget.
Dollar millionaire.
Yeah, dollar millionaire, actually. Yeah. Even shilling millionaires that we know today. Like, have you noticed?
Just work for the government.
Yeah. But there's millionaires in Kenya who I know. Like, there's a gentleman who I'm renting a property from in Banana. This guy has a media studio. He hires out these cameras in his area. He does production for people. He has a TV station. He owns he has a 300 ngurues, which he sells to farmers' choice, and then he has a restaurant where he sells his ngurues as well.
Interesting.
So you see, this guy, if one doesn't give him money, another one will give him money. And I learned that from my grandfather. My grandfather, before he died, had, I'd say, arguably about 30 sources of income. 30.
Jeez.
That's goals.
Yeah. But you see, he also had structures and systems of employing people so that income can continue. So, for example, he knew, I have a farm. This farm has... In the farm by itself, I have flowers. That's one source. I have my tea. That's another source. I have my coffee. That's another source. I have my other horticulture. That's another source. Because you're all selling these items to different
Actually, the thing you're touching on is, again, diversification.
That's
because each of those things are also exposed to different risks in the market. So when the hospitality industry might be down, the flower industry might be doing great.
Exactly.
So,
So earn more money, and very true, live below your means. I'm more against that. Or increase, for me, maybe that's hard to say, to be honest. I want my means to be more. So increase your means as much as possible.
So so that you're below them.
Funny story with Matu. So we went for lunch together. And so, we're discussing things. I was telling him how, I have, say, 100 shillings and I have 10 billion things I want to do, right? And I was like, man, what do I do with all these things? So we're talking about cars, and I'm in the market to buy one. And so I was showing him some options, and he's like, this is what you want. But you can trust God for bigger.
It's true, man.
I was like, Matu.
I put pressure on God. He's our father. Like, ask yourself, if you have the relationship, because you see God wants you to know him as his father. If you put pressure, because the one thing about guys in the Bible, they pestered God for things.
True.
If you can put pressure on God, by the way, God, this one I know you're going to deliver. No questions. He'll come through.
And a powerful thing is also get a wife. You'll make money like never before.
Exactly.
You'll have to.
Because, can I tell you something?
Yeah.
Live below your means is good when you're single.
That's
wait
true.
Wait until you get a wife.
But God blesses marriages.
He does.
You find your income as 10x.
Amen.
That I personally seen.
Yes.
That one I can guarantee you. Guarantee it. He who finds a wife, not a girl who he marries, a wife. There's a difference.
Yes.
That's a bar.
And finds favor with God.
He does.
It's like, I think there's like a verse where it's one does 1,000, but two
Two
does
can, one can put
10,000.
1,000 to flight, two can put 10,000 to flight.
Yeah.
I've seen it. I see it every day. Yeah.
And in the practical world, it makes no sense. But in the spiritual world,
It does make sense.
it does make sense.
Yeah.
Finally, what do you guys want to be remembered for long after you're gone?
Ish.
Deep.
My faith. Yeah. I want to live a long life exposing or living by the faith that I profess. I want to go down in history like David, who was known as a man after God's own heart.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was about to just say, just to kick to the blessing. Very too deep. Now to rethink one.
No, to rethink. Yeah, no, I think I want to be known as a man after God's own heart. Right? When
You've copied his answer.
So it's okay.
that's what I want as well. That's what I want as well.
want the same thing.
You know, it's okay to want the same thing.
Even me.
Yeah, even you. Yeah?
How are you feeling bad after they left you the tight?
I'm getting ahead of it. Yeah, no, a man after God's own heart, but also, I think I'd want to be known as a man of the people, right? So someone who my community could look to, and who was dependable, who was that was yours.
It shows you share the same values.
Yeah, and also just a man who cared more about those around him than himself, you know, because I don't want to be a guy who I'm being buried and all people can think about was the things I had and the things I did.
Yeah.
But rather, you know, I want guys crying at that funeral talking about
How they made you feel.
This guy educated everyone. Yeah, you know, this guy opened these doors for us. This guy led this and this and this, and it had this and this impact. Or this guy was just there for me. Like, this was my bestie, you know. This is just a great dude.
Yeah.
So I want to live a selfless life, and I want that to be a legacy that I live.
I think seeing as both my answers are gone.
Yes. Even I want that answer now.
But I think, it's loving and loving genuinely. You know, where you give of yourself, where you actually invest in the relationships that God has brought around you, be it from direct family to the people you cross or work with. You're there to impact lives, and that shows. So, like the people I look at now, people who are now in their 60s plus who've lived lives I admire, that's been something that I see consistently. It's relationships. People will be speaking so highly of them from the time they were 14, 15, you know, and that for me, I think is something I'd want for myself. Of course, faith plays a role, actually a big role in how you then present yourself and how you show up, because again, God is love. So by loving these people, you're showing a bit of God, you know, being an ambassador to each and every one of these people. So,
I think I also want to go down as a fun guy. Like,
Fair enough. Yeah.
I was just like, this guy was just so much fun.
You're quite boring.
I actually want to be remembered like my grandfather. I want to
what
be
do you mean you
remembered-
can add to our answers? Okay.
I want to be remembered different. Like I want to be remembered the way my grandfather was in his community, in the nation. But beyond that, I want to have the element of David. You know, the faith aspect, because he's remembered to this day as a great man. And I want that not because of his success. Yes, his success was part of it, but he educated more than 1 million kids in his lifetime. He changed the lives of people. He built people houses. He gave people jobs. He created so many jobs. So I want to be remembered for that. But the only difference between me and him is also I want to first and foremost be remembered for my faith in God. Yeah. Then for the accomplishments that come after. Just like David, he had so much.
Yes.
But first, the thing that we know him as is
Man
he was
after God's own
man
heart.
after God's own heart.
You're already named after him. So
Yeah.
You see,
Yes,
I want the part.
Yeah.
Two back. Yes.
Bro, I think mine is to embody what we started, and for everyone to say, you know, that guy actually embodied. Just to kick it is a blessing. And everything that we listened from them, or everything that they did, and it did change lives, and it did show that, you know, just to kick it is actually a blessing. Yeah. But guys, as we wrap this up, any final words, any takeaways, anything?
See you guys at the conference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
November 21st to 23rd.
Yes.
we're really excited about it.
Absolutely.
I think it's going to be a fantastic time.
I think so.
We're going to have fun.
Yes.
Like a lot.
And a lot of
His
competition.
fun or your fun?
Who's fun? We need to decide who's fun.
No, now it's challenged you.
We'll have some
balance.
blended
Balance.
Blended
of
fun.
Balance is key.
Blended fun.
No. Guys, thank you so much for taking time. As Matu shared off studio, off camera, that I need to get up here and plan this to happen a lot more, because I really actually enjoy these conversations, and even the feedback that I get from the people that watch it, it changes. And I think it's also, for me as a host, it gives a different perspective, and I actually also enjoy these ones so much. So I will get the PA and I will organize a monthly one. Let's see what works with everyone's calendar. But thank you guys so much.
You're very welcome.
We're looking forward to hosting you guys listening at home. So guys, for those of you listening from home, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Just to Kick It is a Blessing podcast. Remember that no matter where you are, no matter what you're going through, Just to Kick It is truly a blessing. Goodbye, and see you next week, and at the conference too.
For the Lord we praise. Ooh la la, it's a brand new day. If a hater come, we are let him stay. If a demon come for the boom, yeah, singing no weapon forming against me shall prosper.